First off, with this quick slide I have up, this is our annual customer symposium for ServiceNow risk and security operations customers in October at our headquarters in Santa Clara. I did post the link in the chat, so if you are able to join us, we would love to have you. It is free to sign up, and you can check out the link for more details. Welcome again, once again, to this What's New webinar for security operations going over the Q2 2025 store release. I'm Sarah Wood. I'm from the Outbound Product Management team, and I'm joined by my colleagues Tim and Andy, who are experts in both SIR and VR, and will be here to add color and help out with questions and chat. So please do feel free to leverage the chat functionality in Zoom and use the Q&A if you have any questions throughout. We are really here to address them. And today's session is part of Live on ServiceNow. I posted the link to check out future webinars, as well as our events post, which lists out all of the security operations related events that are coming up in the next little while. So check that out, and we'd love to have you on future events. Now, we're not planning to cover roadmap or forward-looking content today. We do have some roadmap webinars coming up that you can sign up for. But if we do talk about those future innovations and forward-looking things, our standard safe harbor notice applies to this presentation. So just keep that in mind, please. And then a little bit of housekeeping. We're here to answer your questions, like I said, so do use the Q&A and the chat throughout the session. The Q&A will be the best way for us to track and get back to you on anything that you have during the session. Oh, and we are recording this, so I also posted the link where that will be found in the community. So if you wanted to share it with colleagues or look back at it later, we'll have it up there for you. And then lastly, when we close out, we'll have a survey for you to fill out. So please do let us know if you have any suggestions for future or any follow-up items, and we'll get back to you after that. Quick high-level agenda here of what we're covering. Again, we're looking at SIR, so Security Incident Response, which is our enterprise security case management side of the portfolio, as well as vulnerability response, so our unified attack surface management side of the portfolio. And covering what's new in the May 2025 release. So thanks again for joining. And first off, just to quickly ground us, for those of you maybe less familiar with the entire SecOps portfolio, as I mentioned, we have the two different sort of sides of the portfolio, mainly looking at the vulnerability response side, and then the responding to security incidents with our security incident response on the other side. And today we are covering what's new across that entire portfolio. So there's really tons to cover, so I won't linger here any longer. I will just quickly say that for additional information on what we're sharing here, to dive a little bit deeper, our release notes in product docs are going to be a really key resource. So just posted that in the chat, and you can certainly check that out and keep up to date with product docs. Now we are starting with the security incident response side of the portfolio. Quick look at where we've come from. 10th year of operation for security operations. We've obviously iteratively built out and then also had some really big innovations over several releases. So we do always like to flash these slides up just to kind of look at how far we've come. We're now in the May 2025 era. So huge innovation around Now Assist for security incident response. So again, that's our generative AI offerings, and we have new agentic AI workflows that we'll look at today, as well as some great enhancements in security incident response and threat intelligence security center. Now, starting with the big innovations. So we have Now Assist, again, our generative AI capabilities. It's now both in SIR and VR. And we have these new agentic AI workflows that we've released in May. So specifically in security incident response, we have two additional workflows that are powered by agentic AI. And so these are involving teams of agents that are carrying out specific tasks in the platform to achieve those desired workflows. And so, really, all about reducing complexity for analysts, reducing that effort and time involved in gathering insights and different manual tasks that really burden analysts and managers in day to day. So we've got these two new workflows here. So it's the security incident resolver, and this involves an AI agent team that is going to help analysts automate phishing incident resolution specifically. And we'll look at that in a demo in just a little bit, but really high level here, again, reducing that manual time and effort around response capabilities. So things like email generation and ticket lookups, automatically being able to initiate that email search and containment, really key here, and then being able to just speed up that response to these sort of high volume threats. The second one here is the analyze security operations metrics. And so this AI agent team is all about helping managers get real-time metrics on MTTR and other key performance indicators. So all of this is done in this natural language experience that you see within the Now Assist panel here, and we're going to get a little bit more of a flavor of that with our demos that are coming up. And just to kind of talk on the licensing front, this is available in our SIR Enterprise Plus or SIR Professional Plus. So if you're interested or want to know more on that front, do talk to your account team about that in terms of licensing questions. A little bit more detail here on the first SIR agentic AI workflow for resolving security incidents. You can sort of see here that there's a team of agents that each have specific tasks that are kind of orchestrated together to achieve that workflow. And so one, we're looking at automating the resolution plan generation. And so that's leveraging similar security incidents and knowledge base articles. And then we have automation of core activities. So this is things like email generation, response task handling, and ITSM tickets handling. So things like incidents and changes and problems. And then the agent is also able to run threat lookups and enrichment to do things like blocking observables and automating that email search, as I mentioned, and delete operations. So we will see this a little bit more in the demo, so I won't go into too much more detail there. I'll just flip over to the second agentic AI workflow. Again, a team of AI agents really here, and they're working together to do some metric analysis for you so that if you're, a SOC manager and you really want to understand how you can better prioritize response efforts or optimize your resource allocation, you're able to chat with the AI agent in the Now Assist panel and get a ton of recommendations and insights. So it could be things like which specific teams might need more guidance in terms of how to improve response times, how you might be able to improve those times through automating things like responding to phishing incidents. And so it's all, again, about improving that efficiency and getting those real-time metrics on things like mean time to assign and mean time to resolve and different things that your SOC manager is going to be interested in. So when it comes to, MTTR, we know that we have metrics that look at this in our dashboards, but we might want more. We want the full story. So are there incidents that are taking longer to resolve, or are there specific outliers? Obviously, doing this manually takes a ton of time, so it's really great to have that in the Now Assist panel where you can have that deeper dive. Look at L1 analysts in the last 6 months, look at their average resolution time, and really engage in natural language to get more insights. So really, really exciting innovation here in security incident response, starting with those bigger innovations, as I mentioned. I'm going to pivot over to a demo here, and this is conducted by my colleague Madhumita, who is the product manager for Now Assist within Security Incident Response. So I'm going to bring that up and we'll get that going. Just a moment here. All right.
Hello, everyone. In this demo, we'll see how our security incident resolver team of agents would help us resolve a security incident. As the statistics say, 90% of the security incidents happen because of phishing attacks. This is an example of a phishing email. Let us go ahead and report it and see how our agents would help resolve the security incident. Let me forward this as an attachment. Let us now navigate to the user-reported phishing email section of the SAR module. Here, a phishing email record and the corresponding SAR would be created for the one that we have just reported. Let us wait for the record to be created. We see that the phishing email record and the corresponding SAR are created over here. Let us now navigate to the security incident to check the details and start the investigation. We see that the affected CI, affected user, and the priority information are available. We also see the observables are populated. So let us now go ahead and ask the agent to resolve the security incident. Resolve security incident workflow is now invoked. Now the team of agents would work together and proposes the set of resolution steps to resolve this incident. The agent has taken the past similar security incidents and the KBs or runbooks that are present in the system to come up with this plan. Let us review this plan and suggest changes to the agent if required. Let us ignore step 8 and 9 for this demo. At this stage, you can interact with the agent and suggest changes or modification to come up with a revised plan as required. The agent has made the changes and come up with a revised plan. So let us say looks good. At each stage, the agent sets the context of what it is about to perform. Here, it is going to change the state of the security incident to analysis. We see the state is set to analysis now. The agent has then proceeded to initiate the threat lookup and the observable enrichment. Once we confirm, the agent would summarize the results of these threat lookup and observable enrichment. So let us confirm yes. The agent has then summarized the observable enrichment and threat lookup results for us. VirusTotal has called out an observable as malicious. The next step involves notifying the management about the phishing attack, and it asks for the email ID. So let us give an email address. It has proposed the content of the email. Let us just ask the agent to include the affected user and the CI. As mentioned earlier, at each stage, wherever required, you can give feedback and interact with the agent to get the content modified. It has included the affected user and the CI details over here. So let us go ahead and say yes. The email has also been sent successfully and a link has been provided for us to view the email content. Let us open it and we see the email over here. Alternatively, you can also go to the other records and check the email section over here to see the email that was sent. Here is the email that was sent. Now let us get back to the resolution plan. The agent is checking with us if the user interacted with the phishing email. Let us confirm as yes. So the next step involves raising an incident to get the password credentials reset for the affected user. And it is given the short description. It looks good to me. So let us approve it. As soon as the content is approved, the incident is created, and you can also navigate to the incident and check the details, or go to the other records and check the details, like we check the email information. We see that the incident is created with a request to reset the password credentials. The observables were found malicious, so it is requesting us to proceed with the block request. So let us go ahead and say yes over here. The block request got initiated. We'll wait for the block request results. Here is the EDL list for the Palo Alto Next-Gen Firewall. So all the observables that were part of the incident that are identified as malicious are added to the block list over here. Let us get back to the security incident and confirm to the agent that the block request was complete. The next step involves searching other users' inbox for similar phishing emails and deleting them. So the search request got initiated. And the next step involves to go ahead and delete the emails from other users' inbox. We do see here that 8 emails were found as part of the search result. The deletion request got submitted. We see that 8 of the requested emails were deleted successfully as part of the Exchange Online integration that was initiated by the agent. As the investigation is complete, the agent then proceeds to close the security incident by invoking the wrap-up security incident workflow. It provides a brief summary of the security incident and calls out any open response tasks that are present. This incident does not have any open response tasks, and hence it has called out that there are no response tasks open, and proceeds by generating the post-incident analysis. It has given a detailed post-incident analysis with the root cause analysis, impact assessment, and learnings and recommendation. So let us go ahead and approve it. The last step is to come up with the close code for the security incident. The agent has suggested threat mitigated as a close code. The close code was updated and the security incident is closed successfully. This is how the entire investigation journey looks like when you talk to our agents and get the incident resolved. The entire experience is thus seamless with the agentic AI experience. Hope you liked the demo. See you soon.
Awesome. All right. Huge thank you to Madhumitha for that demo. We're going to carry on here and get back to our security incident response enhancements for the May release. So the first one here that we're calling out is our on-call scheduling. So this is now available in security incident response. So security operations centers can manage their on-call schedules from within SIR without having to use ITSM or other third-party tools to do that. So really great. Admins can go in, create shifts, assign or remove members, create on-call schedules for groups, and then analysts can go in and specify availability and contact methods, and then view their schedule and see other members of their shift. So great addition there in Q2. The next one here is our improvements to relationship graph. So relationship graph 2.0. So we have enhancements here that allow you to better visualize relationships between the different artifacts within a security incident. So I will call out that this is in the SIR workspace only, but huge improvement. So teams don't have to, be worried about adding their diagrams or whiteboarding to incidents. They can create the graph within the security incident itself and really have a better way to uh, visualize those associated observables and configuration items and similar incidents and response tasks. So again, we're really looking at helping analysts understand that full context. Admins can define different child nodes to go into the relationship graph and configure those relationship labels, and then analysts can add or remove child nodes, save the state of the relationship graph, and retrieve that updated data. So great enhancement there for SIR. And the last one we'll go over for security incident response here today is the process mining capability. So this is a capability that has existed for some time in ServiceNow at the platform level, and we're now bringing it to security incident response. So there is a note there that it does require that platform process mining add-on or the Workflow Data Fabric Pro, but really, really powerful tool here that's helping organizations optimize their business processes. So it analyzes different SIR records and audit logs through that process mining capability to identify bottlenecks and inefficiencies. So things like multiple reassignments, prolonged hold times, and periods of inactivity for security incidents. So really good opportunities for improvement there. There's a content pack for security incident response, which has a pre-built project and a predefined process model definition for security incidents. And you can learn more in docs about the different opportunities for improvement within process mining and how to create a process mining project for security incident response. Now, last thing on the enterprise case management side of the portfolio are some updates with Threat Intelligence Security Center from the May release. So first off is the ability to create a security incident and security incident response directly from within Threat Intelligence Security Center. So now cyber threat intel teams can create those without having to switch back over to SIR. So again, helping with just the amount of work and the clicking that has to be done in order to get that security incident created. And really leveraging that native connection that we have between TISC and SIR for better collaboration and better efficiency. Again, key differentiator here of our threat intelligence platform in the sense that you're really allowing that CTI team and then the incident response to be in the same place and operate on the same platform instead of having to go between different applications. So really great improvement there. Second here is a brand new integration for Threat Intelligence Security Center for Microsoft Defender Endpoint Detection and Response. So now teams can send malicious observables to Microsoft Defender EDR, automatically sort of push malicious or suspicious IP addresses, domains, file hashes, URLs, and have that continuous monitoring and real-time alerting. And so you can then use your tool to proactively block and search for malicious observables, really having that ability to stop the attack much faster or prevent it from happening altogether. So great new integration there. And the last thing here is actually in Innovation Lab. So stay tuned for more on this, but threat intel sharing. So via Threat Intelligence Security Center, there's now an ability to streamline that process of sharing intel in the community. So using Stick's Taxi server, you can set that up within Threat Intelligence Security Center. Again, in innovation labs for now, so stay tuned for more on threat intel sharing in the coming weeks and months. Now over to the vulnerability response side of the portfolio. So this is looking at your responding to vulnerabilities and unified attack surface management side of things. Again, we've come a long way with vulnerability response, as many of you will know and have followed along. A lot of growth, a lot of innovation over several different releases, bringing us to where we are today, looking at Yokohama and then the Q2 2025 release. So again, a lot of innovation around generative AI with Now Assist for vulnerability response. This is the first release where we have Now Assist for VR. We'll also talk about some other integrations and enhancements across the vulnerability response side of the portfolio. Again, here we're starting with a major new innovation. So again, let's Now Assist for vulnerability response. First release where we have this. We're looking at AI agent workflows that are addressing areas of concern that came up frequently with customers. So one being, can I respond quickly to a new exposure in my environment? And two, can I report on my remediation compliance easily? So two questions that are top of mind. We have the first agent here, agentic workflow, which is assess vulnerability exposure. And this is all about security teams being able to really quickly understand their exposure to a new vulnerability instead of having to wait till they have that ability to conduct scanning. So it's looking at identifying new CVEs published on the CISA known exploited vulnerabilities catalog, determining the impact or the blast radius across configuration items and business services. And then it's summarizing that impact and has the ability to create watch topics for you and for vulnerability managers to be able to track that remediation. And then the second one here is our Analyze Vulnerability Remediation Agent. And this is, again, all about getting insights into performance, remediation performance, rather. So has the ability to give you deeper insights into trends that are going on. You're able to use natural language in the Now Assist panel to engage with the agent, and you're able to get summaries around remediation progress and effectiveness. So really, the theme here is all about reducing that complexity and the time involved in searching through data, searching through reports for that information. And as with Now Assist for SIR, these are available add-on for VR. So there's VR Enterprise Pro and VR Pro Plus. So you can definitely talk to your account team if you have questions about licensing. Now, going a little bit deeper into these new agentic AI workflows for vulnerability response. The first one here, we're going to see a couple short demos too, so that will add a little bit more color to this. But again, it's all about understanding your organization's exposure based on CISA vulnerability reporting. So we're streamlining that process for you with this team of agents. Again, I gotta advance, there we go. Team of agents here looking at conducting specific tasks, right? So one, checking continuously for newly posted CVEs or vulnerabilities on the CISA known exploited vulnerabilities catalog, and able to proactively inform the vulnerability manager if they're affected. Two, assessing that vulnerability exposure on configuration items or on top level business services. So it's not all about, are they in my environment, but I might want to know, are there specifically active vulnerabilities on this particular crown jewel business application that I care about? So it's being able to really drill in and get specific insights that matter most to me. And then being able to take actions based on the user's request to create watch topics so that I can manage and monitor those vulnerabilities through to remediation. And I can also get summaries of the impact or the blast radius. So great addition there. Huge innovation. Next one is analyze the vulnerability remediation status. So this is, again, all about getting those insights into SLA statistics and understanding remediation status. We know that getting this information and pulling it together is or can be cumbersome. So with this uh, team of agents, you're able to really streamline that and get compliance statistics on remediation targets, get the breakdown on severity, assignment group, CI, and be able to, again, engage in natural language. So this team of agents is all about tracking SLA and compliance metrics, monitoring and reporting on met and missed remediation targets, and being able to categorize that compliance data by breaking it down by severity, assignment group, and CI so that you can get a closer look at trends and bottlenecks. We're going to move into a couple of quick demos. So these are shorter ones to just give you a flavor of what that looks like. So I'm going to go ahead and first bring up our exposure assessment. Both of these are conducted by our inbound product manager for Now Assist for Vulnerability Response, Miranda. So huge thanks to Miranda for putting these awesome demos together. We'll get the first one queued up here.
Hey everyone, today I'm going to show you a demo of Assess Vulnerability Exposure Agentic Workflow. Every day, new vulnerabilities are added to CISA's CAF catalog, and many of them actively exploited in the wild. Security team are under pressure to answer three urgent questions fast. Are we exposed? What system are affected? And are we doing anything about it? But manually checking the CISA updates, mapping CVEs to internal assets, evaluating impact, and coordinating response across team is time-consuming and also reactive. With this assess vulnerability exposure agentic workflow, the entire process becomes proactive and also intelligent. You can trigger the skills in the Now Assist panel on the right-hand side. And you can also ask, I want to know the recent CISA vulnerabilities impacting my environment in the last 90 days. So the agent fetches the latest entries from the CISA CAF catalog and cross-references them with the organization's asset inventory and also the vulnerability database and see how many vulnerabilities are impacting our environment. So here's the output. And with that information, one particular CVE catches my eye. So this CVE is with a critical risk rating and also has two VITs associated with it. So the next thing I want to do is I want to further understand the impact of that CVE to my environment. And I can type, give me an impact analysis on this CVE. The agent will return a summary of impact, and that includes the number of VITs, impacted business service, and also the impacted CI class. With the returned answer, I want to further drill down to the impacted business service. Cloud management is the most critical one, and I can further ask, help me understand the impact of the cloud management. The agent provides the number of VITs and also a prioritized list of the top 3 affected CIs. So with the impact analysis, that CVE does look pretty bad, and I want to further monitor this vulnerability. So in addition to ask for exposure assessment, I can further ask the agent to take the action to help me create a watch topic and monitor this vulnerability. So after reviewing the proposed details, and I can ask the agent to proceed. Now a watch topic is created, and by clicking the link, you'll be able to see a watch topic created and also can be viewed and monitored in the Vulnerability Manager workspace. That's the end of the demo. Thank you.
All right, excellent. Big thanks again to Miranda. We have another shorter one that's just looking at our assess remediation status agent. So I'm just going to pull that one up and let us get a flavor of that as well.
Hi everyone. Today I'm going to show you a demo of Analyze Vulnerability Remediation Status agentic workflow. Every end of the quarter, Vulnerability Manager usually receive an ask from the leadership, ask, are we on track to meet our vulnerability remediation SLAs? It's a question requiring a lot of data stitching and a lot of manual work. Although remediation targets exist, but they are buried in spreadsheets and siloed across the team. With Analyze Remediation Compliance and Agentic Workflow, you can ask within the analysis panel. With Analyze Remediation Compliance Agentic Workflow, you can ask, help me provide a remediation compliance metrics for August 2022. The agent will categorize the missed SLA by severity and also assignment group, and also provide additional insights on the remediation status. In addition to that, you can also ask the agent for a month-over-month comparison to identify any trends. For example, here I ask, help me provide a summary of the status against last month, so July 2022. It gives me a detailed analysis breaking down by severity and also breakdown by assignment group, also with additional insights with the comparison here.
Okay. Excellent. We're going to carry on, but I hope that gives you a good sense of what this new functionality is doing and how it can help you in your workflows. We'll get right back to it here, finishing up the vulnerability response side of the portfolio. We have another pretty significant feature that was released in May for vulnerability response. So for all of you folks using Cloud VR, this is a brand new integration for containers. So a lot of customers have been asking for this. We have enhanced the existing Tenable integration for VR, which now includes the ability to import data from Tenable Cloud into vulnerability response. So customers, you can gain insights and track remediation of their cloud-based findings from Tenable Cloud with container VR and with host VR. Again, just to reiterate on the functionality level, this is cloud. So this is VR enterprise related capability for the May release. But many other exciting enhancements came in May for vulnerability response. I'll highlight a few of them here. So the first being exception approval enhancements. And so now we have the ability to configure advanced questionnaires as part of the exception management process in VR using the Now Platform Smart Assessment Engine. So you can mark questionnaires to be mandatory if desired. Those test results and those remediation tasks are in an open state until that questionnaire is submitted. And then once submitted, it's into the review state. So really business-friendly assessment experience, that drag and drop template designer, and allowing those remediation owners to give more detail around their requests and those approvers to have more context and be able to configure additional questions as needed. So lots of great flexibility there in terms of streamlining that process. We also have a couple of other enhancements to highlight. So one here being reopened count on vulnerable items. So we've added this field on vulnerable items to track the number of times that its state changes from closed to open or active. So this is a new field and it's giving you more data around those findings that are going to be reopening over time. So you have more visibility into the patterns of those findings that might have issues with remediation. So great addition there. The next one here is the CI matching enhancements. So we now have additional flexibility to account for decommissioned assets. So giving that additional accuracy for those VR users who are not maybe following the common service data model standards. So we've had the addition of this system property that you see here, and that's been added again to help those users not following CSDM. So it's really ensuring that discovered items and their associated vulnerable items are marked as decommissioned and therefore excluded from the CI lookup. From a performance perspective, when you then reapply lookup rules, those discovered items that have been inactive for more than 90 days are ignored. So that's reducing that processing time. And then also not included in the VR usage metering. Again, on the performance front, the fourth one listed out here, more on the user experience piece. So the ability to better handle those larger list views. This is a standard best practice configuration from a performance standpoint, but now by default, that row count in VR workspaces is going to be disabled. So it's improving those load times for users. You could still click a button to see that row count for that filter that you've applied to the list view, but obviously this is really great for larger volumes if you've had any issues with lists taking a long time to load. So great little enhancement to call out there. Additional more minor features for vulnerability response on the application VR side. We now support manual file uploads to bring in your findings and create application vulnerable items for pen test findings. You can upload via the templates provided. So there's Excel and CSV templates to complete and upload to be able to ingest them into AVR and create those ABITs. On the solution management side, we already have Microsoft and Red Hat integrations, generic frameworks to bring in preferred solutions on vulnerable items. But as of the May release, we now also have the Cisco solution integration and SUSE solution integration to bring in security advisories and remediation details. So again, helping reducing that swivel chairing between different systems. And then the last one here on the container VR side, there's improved assignments. So with the integration with Palo Alto Prisma, you can split CVITs by file path. You can have additional granularity in terms of driving that splitting out of CVITs based on discovery data in the CMDB. So you can split based on ITOM data, if you have ITOM installed, or scanner or discovery data. So if you have two Kubernetes clusters in one namespace, you're going to get two CVITs if you've got that granularity set to discovery information. But then when you have scanner information set for that granularity, it's going to group those Kubernetes clusters and create four CVITs. So that's just an example. You can read more about it in product documentation, but really giving you better assignment of those vulnerabilities in the cloud and that remediation work. Okay. Now, heading over to security posture control, this is the last area we'll talk about here today. We have some new integration for our mitigation control detection and security posture control. So that was introduced in Yokohama. We have the ability to identify assets that have MITRE mitigations based on EDR and web application firewall tools. So we're now adding an additional integration into that mix. So that's Amazon AWS web application firewall. So it's Again, we're getting that visibility into the assets that are protected by AWS Web Application Firewall. So you can identify those AWS virtual machines that are protected and be able to use that data for your vulnerability scoring and your vulnerability prioritization. So really great addition on the security posture control side. And then the second one here, you'll see a new menu item on the left for asset profiles and security posture control. So this allows you to quickly pull together filters to classify similar assets for your policies and your insights. So for example, you could create a profile based on the operating system or host name or other asset metadata. And you can build out those conditions for the asset profile in a very similar way that you build out policies in SPC. So using that condition and logic. And you can base that on 3 different connection types. So CMDB metadata, aggregated data, like if it's reported by different sources for a given asset, or CI class. And then you can run your policies for specific types of assets, or you can build custom insights and be able to filter the insights in the configured insights dashboard so that they're based on your asset profiles. So great additions there to SPC. And that kind of brings us to the end of what we're highlighting for the Q2 release. We'll talk a little bit about some of the resources that are out there. We talked about product documentation, which is key and has all those release notes for more detail. We also have a relatively new resource library in the community, and this is really curating resources for you on different product areas and popular topics. So I've posted the link in the chat. There are a whole slew of other resources that are great to check out. We're going to share these slides in the community in the post that I shared earlier, and we'll put that in the chat again. But it will be there so you can check out all of these links. We will be posting the recording and slides in the community where we have put that link in the chat